Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Coffey, and you are watching The Urban Mail.
It's the Urban Mail Show.
Yeah.
Where else would you go?
Where would you go?
Rain, sleet, hell, or snow.
Yeah.
It's the Urban Mail Show.
Today we have a very special guest joining the show. But before I introduce our esteemed guest, please say hello to my cast members. From left to right, we have Lanique Burnett, Gary Abra, Corey Henderson, and Edward Coffey, who's not on screen. How's it going, fellas?
Going well.
All right, awesome. So the topic for tonight's show is Sink or Swim. Is the HBCU built to last? During our conversation, we'll take an in-depth look at one HBCU in particular, St. Augustine's University, which is located in the heart of Raleigh, North Carolina. The school's recent financial troubles have made headlines across the country and have sparked debate over the value HBCUs bring to our communities. Helping us to explore this topic is Dr. Frank Godfrey, Sr. Dr. Godfrey is a Harvard graduate and served as a college professor at St. Augustine's College for 25 years, receiving Professor of the Year award for 24 of those 25 years. Following the headlines covering St. Augustine's problems, he and Professor James Nelson Jr. published an article revealing insight into deeper issues facing the university. We'll talk about that as well as get his thoughts on how the university can successfully turn things around. Dr. Godfrey, I want to thank you for joining us today.
It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure having you on the show. One thing I'd like to point out before we get started, with the exception of myself, the entire Urban Mail cast is comprised of St. Augustine's College, or St. Augustine University graduates. Many, if not all, have had the pleasure of sitting at your feet, Dr. Godfrey, so to speak. And I say that to let the audience know that the brilliance with which these guys are going to articulate their opinions is also steeped in a profound respect as well as responsibility towards carrying on the St. Augustine legacy. That's right. I poured it on a little thick there, Gary. I saw you. But I think that merits me saying, because as graduates, you guys have some skin in the game, so to speak. So let's go ahead and get started. Dr. Godfrey, my first question to you, as an educator, what are some of the things that, as an educator, what are some of the things that keep you up at night?
I guess the main thing is the failure of the public school system to adequately prepare our young black kids for the college experience, and that includes elementary, middle school, and high school levels. I have several friends who work in public schools across the country, and they articulate the same concern. And I think if the public schools were doing a better job, our students would be better prepared to matriculate at colleges and universities and community colleges throughout the United States. That's the main thing. And I don't think that a lot of kids understand the importance of the educational experience. You know, I run into a lot of students at homecoming, and they say they really didn't wake up until their junior years. You know, when you really think about it, the most important 2 years are the freshman and sophomore years, because that's when you lay the foundation and develop your grade point average and stuff like that. And, you know, once you dig a hole, so if you come there and you wind up with a 1.0 grade point average over the first year, it's going to be hard to bring that up to a 2.0, or 2.5, or even a 3.0 to seek meaningful employment. Another thing that concerns me is the number of students who go to college and are not prepared and leave with these student loans. And a lot of them think that they don't have to pay these loans back, but that's the biggest mistake these students can ever make. Because if you default on your student loan, that follows you into your personal life. You won't be able to get a car, you won't be able to get an apartment, you won't be able to get any kind of loans, and you won't be able to get a house if you want that, because it's tied to your Social Security number. And you know, that's a real big issue for me. And then if you leave school early with these loans and you don't get any meaningful employment, how are you going to pay these loans back? So you're very likely to go into default. That, you know, that's an issue that a lot of people don't talk about, but it's a serious issue. And unfortunately, I suspect that a lot of kids wind up resorting to criminal activity to make money.
Let me ask you, were some of those issues that you just mentioned, were those some of the things that prompted you and Professor James Nelson Jr. to publish that article following the headlines about St. Augustine's financial issues?
Now, I've been following St. Aug. St. Aug started this decline back in 1994 when Bernard Franklin became president. And I watched the last two administrations destroy my alma mater and your alma mater brick by brick. I called this to the attention of the board. I was very articulate in my concerns about what was happening to the college. And, you know, nobody seemed to care. And now we're in a situation where we're almost on life support and something has to be done. We're going to survive.
I got you. Audience, throughout the interview, we're going to be tossing some questions at Dr. Godfrey, all of the panelists actually. And Gary, I believe you have a question, so go ahead and fire away.
Okay. All right, Dr. Godfrey, you are an esteemed professor and well-respected professor and one of my favorite professors, so to speak, at St. Augustine's College, now university. Since your departure, what do you think has changed in the years since then?
Well, I left in '08. I really should have left before then. But I got to the point where I didn't have any confidence in the product that we were selling.
Mm-hmm.
You have the open house, and all these students would come by the busloads to the college, and you were to try to tell them why they should come to the school. I couldn't look the parents in their faces and tell them why they should send their kids to the college. And if I wasn't confident in the product I was selling, it's almost like if I'm selling Chevys and I'm driving a Ford. So that's the main reason why I left.
A follow-up question to that is, because you did attend St. Augustine's College in your youth as well, correct?
Yes, I did. I went from 1963 to 1967.
Fantastic. So how is the culture different now than it was back then?
It's totally different. It's almost comparable to what the Europeans did to the Native Americans.
Wow.
Total destruction of the culture.
Wow.
And
hey, on to question 3.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Corey, you're back online. Corey, you're up. Do you have a question for the professor? And Corey, you might be on mute.
Okay, I'll go ahead and ask it since he's not on. So
No,
I
just unmuted it. I was having a little issues with my connection. You hear me clearly now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We'll edit down.
okay.
Yeah. I'm back
All right,
on
Corey,
now.
do you have a
Okay.
question
Yeah.
for the professor?
Are the financial issues? Yes. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you
Go
go.
ahead and go
Yes.
through with it. Are the financial issues facing
I,
a unique problem or something more common among colleges and universities?
you were breaking up a little bit there, Corey. Let me redeliver that to the
Go
Dr.
ahead and go right through it. Go ahead and run through it.
All right, Dr. Godfrey, are the financial issues currently facing St. Aug a unique problem or something more common among HBCU colleges and universities?
Well, I can't speak for all HBCUs, but I think that you would find that it was common. It's common among many of the HBCUs. In the case of St. Augustine's, I think that the main problem has been the alienation of the alumni and the community and other stakeholders who might otherwise support the college in various ways, even other than financial. So I think that's the biggest problem with St. Augustine's right now. Alienation of the stakeholders.
And if they could do things differently, what would you recommend?
It might be too late for this administration to turn it around because, you know, if you slap me in the face and you come and tell me you're sorry, I still remember that you slapped me in my face. And now I suspect that if you're coming to me now, it's because you're in trouble. Had you treated me with respect from the get-go, the situation might be a little different, and I might be more receptive to your apologies. But right now, I don't want you to tell me that you're sorry. It's too late.
Well,
man.
well said, and we can hear Brother Coffee's clapping in the background. Lanique, you're up on deck.
Yeah, how you doing today, Doc? My question is, do you have any connections at all with the St. Augustine's University Board of Trustees?
None. I went to Morehouse College's website day before yesterday, and the names and addresses and contact information of all the board members are clearly indicated on the website. But St. Aug's, you can't. I don't even know who's on that board, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't have a clue.
Wow.
Neither do we.
I know.
Got you. Lanique, do you have a follow-up question before we move on?
Yeah. So what's are faculty furloughs the right decision to make at this time?
Faculty furlough is an option for a financially strapped institution. You know, I noticed that they changed their minds about it. But, you know, if you're going to do something like that, you have to explain to the faculty that rather than laying off a lot of people, we're all going to take a furlough, and it has to be from the top all the way down, from the president all the way down to the janitor. And everybody has to be affected by that furlough.
How does that decision to furlough faculty affect students in the broad scheme of things?
Well, everything affects the students. You know, that's you can't talk about one issue that affects the students. So if you furlough the employees, that may have a negative impact on morale. And if a faculty member is not fully motivated and has good morale, that might follow him or her into the classroom, and he or she may be less effective in teaching in the classroom and managing the classroom. And the same thing with administrators, and the same thing with the people in the cafeteria, and the same thing with the janitors. You know, everybody's morale might be affected by that, and they might exhibit negative behavior with regard to the students and poor customer service, etc.
I understand. Let's look at things from a talent perspective. A lot of what we hear in the news is regarding St. Aug's financial troubles. Do you think they have any? Well, you mentioned that they have some management issues. Do you think that St. Aug does enough to partner with other colleges, businesses, and alumni to attract top-tier faculty members that could come in and cultivate some of the brightest minds that are looking to continue their education with the university?
I don't think they do a good enough job of doing that. I mean, I don't know anybody I come in contact with in the community who has anything positive to say about the college. The same thing with most of the alumni that I come in contact with. And you don't really need top-tier faculty. You need well-qualified faculty who have a passion for what they do and are concerned about those kids. We got a lot of St. Aug graduates with master's degrees and doctorate degrees who have been run away from the school because of the way they've been treated.
I understand. Gary, I'm going to pass the floor to you.
Let me say something before you speak, Jerry.
Absolutely.
You know, if you're going to attract the top students, you're going to have, you know, that's like inviting somebody to a table. You got to have a buffet for these kids. You got to have the top technical, you got to have the top equipment for them to access. You got to have an adequate library, and you got to have all of the resources that would make them want to stay at the college and not go to a school who may have better opportunities for them to matriculate.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. So here's my next question. St. Augustine's president, Dr. Diane Bordley-Suber, released a statement or a video, what have you, which I didn't buy into by any means, and where she publicly states that our immediate goals are to support our continuing students, meet our recruitment goals for 2014 freshman class, and effectively and efficiently maximize our financial resources. Now, as a president, how would you balance this approach with attracting academic high performers?
Well, you know, those are some real good words, And I think that anybody in a situation like that would say the same thing. But you have to change the culture. We have to start treating students with respect. We have to start treating the faculty with respect, the staff with respect, the community with respect, alumni with respect. And I think if we could do those things, we could turn all of those things that she mentioned could be turned around, including the financial aspects. Because alumni, our alumni, we have about 10,000 alumni out there, and a lot of them make good money. But most of them that I know wouldn't send a penny to the school right now.
Yep.
Indeed.
As a follow-up to that, what do you think the biggest financial issue is with the college? So I know it's ever since they got the football team, they've just been kind of going downhill. But that's not really generating a lot of revenue. Would you contribute to that, or is it other things that contribute to that?
There's a lot of stuff, man. You got a few people at the top that's making good money. Almost like a plantation system, where you got the masters at the top making the big money, and the slaves, the faculty, the staff aren't being paid well. I worked over there for 25 years, and I got 2 raises out of 25 years I was working over there. You know, I got some promotions because I moved up in the organization, but as far as getting a 2 to 3% raise every year, that's unheard of.
Wow.
You know, so that's part of the financial problem over there. And then, you know, when you look at, we waste a lot of money. You know, I used to tell my students all the time, you know, like if you're upset with the school, you're not going to be concerned about letting the showers run for a half hour before you get into it. You're not going to be concerned about turning the lights off or the TV off or the radio off when you leave the room, because, you know, so you got a renter's mentality. So if we can develop a culture where everybody takes ownership in the school, and we know that everything we do, from the student to the president, affects the household, I think that we'll be on the way. You know, like they say, it takes a community to educate a child. It's going to take a community to bring this college back to where it used to be.
Absolutely.
I think that's interesting that you say that, because it seems that all of the articles and responses from St. Aug point to scientific thinking, where they're trying to deconstruct all of the different issues that St. Aug is having and try to resolve the issue that way, as opposed to looking at it from a systems perspective and say, how are the decisions that we're making affecting the student body, affecting the community, affecting future students and the city as a whole?
I agree with you. And we have to quit looking at the student as the enemy. The student is the customer. You know, I believe that the student should be empowered, and the SGA should be a functional component of the college and should participate in the governance. You should also have a staff component, just as you should have a faculty component. And everybody should meet on a regular basis, and representatives from those 3 groups should meet on a regular basis so that they can see what the common concerns are and take those issues to the administration, along with solutions or proposed solutions, and then we should work to make that a better place for everybody.
All right, let me shoot another question at you. Let's assume that St. Aug was stuck with, and maybe that's a poor choice of words, but maybe St. Augustine University would choose to stick with their current Board of Trustees. How do you think that they can turn things around from here? And if you were on that board, what solutions would you offer to them?
You know, the Board of Trustees has a fiduciary responsibility, and that simply means that they are responsible to ensure that the college operates within the guidelines of any business organization.
Right.
They should know where the money is coming from, where the money is going. And you know, back in the day, when I say back in the day, when you got on a Board of Trustees, it was expected that you would bring $100,000 with you. Now, you don't have to bring that out of your pocket, but if you come on that board, you should know 10 people who could give you $10,000 to bring to the college, or you should know 100 people who can give you $1,000 to bring to the college. So the board members should also be raising money, in addition to oversight of the college's operations. And I don't know if the board members really, if all of the board members fully understand how critical their responsibility is. I really don't know if they do or not. I would hope that they do, but I doubt very seriously, because had they had that attitude, I don't think that we'd be in this situation right now.
Maybe in the coming weeks or the coming months, someone will step forward and kind of shed some insight into some of the decisions that the board has made and some of the solutions that they're quite possibly maybe looking to put on the table. Let me ask you this, because as you mentioned, the focus to this entire story is the students. What's your message to the existing student body, particularly those who may be looking to transfer to another college or university in light of these recent financial struggles?
Let me ask you a question. What would you tell those individuals who own those GM cars with the defective ignitions? Would you want them to continue driving those cars, or would you want them to get a car that they don't feel safe in? I think that if I'm paying $25,000 a year to go to a school, and I don't feel that that school is meeting my expectations, I have every right to get the value for my bucks.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So, Doc, with that instance, what's your response to those who suggest that historically black colleges and universities need to increase their enrollment of non-blacks in order to make ends meet?
Oh, Lord have mercy. I mean, if you're doing that, if you're doing that just to say that you have some white kids on the campus, or some Chinese on the campus, or some Japanese on the campus, I think that's the wrong reason. If you're gonna use diversity as an education, I don't know if any of you were in my class, but I had students from Eastern European, and I would in the classroom, I would ask them to speak their language, tell us about their culture, tell us about the educational system. So we're going to use it as an educational opportunity, and also to enhance our students' ability to function in a more diverse society, then I'm with it. But if we're just doing it to pick pictures up on the website that we have white students and Hispanic students and Japanese students, and not make it a holistic approach to teaching all of these kids, I don't see the need for it.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So I think we've run through the formal portion of the discussion. Right now, I want to open it up for roundtable. Does anyone have any questions that they would like to present to Dr. Godfrey?
Yeah, I do. Doc, recently it's been a big alumni and student campaign to try to get you into that presidential chair at St. Augustine's University. Is that even a position that you're interested in, or is it just wishful thinking on our behalf?
If I were asked to serve as president, I would definitely take advantage of the opportunity, because I think that I can pull the necessary stakeholders together and bring the college back to where it was when Dr. Robinson was president. You know, I'm not looking to live in no big house with 9 bedrooms with a swimming pool in the backyard. I don't need a car, and I don't need all those big expense accounts, and I don't need those big salaries. You see? But when you start talking like that, when people say you're not presidential. So, you know, we spend a lot of money trying to imitate majority institutions, and I think that we need to come back down to reality and live within our means, and that's from the top all the way down to the bottom, so we can get ourselves together.
And as a follow-up to that, I know since I entered St. Aug many, many moons ago, there's been rumblings and all that about you being groomed to be the next president after Prezell back in the days. If we was to do a poll of the students during our tenure there and your tenure, I'm sure you'll be amongst the top and best liked professors as shown by the 24 years Teacher of the Year award that you received. But and with you being a St. Aug grad that left and went to Harvard, then came back to St. Aug to teach, that show your love for the school, because you could have went anywhere with those credentials. But why do you think you haven't been considered for that position instead of the 2 outsiders from other places that came and took the seat as president in our school?
Okay, let me tell you, when Dr. Robinson was president, he did bring me back to groom me to replace him. But this might be one of the most significant things that ever happened in the college history. The college was sued by a white professor by the name of Alan Cooper for discrimination. He was denied tenure and he sued the college and won the lawsuit. And the college had to pay him $682,000. And as a result of that, the community that alienated the white community, and everybody who was a part of Dr. Robinson's administrative team, of which I was sort of castigated and put on the back burner. So the current board at that time felt that it would be in the best interest of the college to get somebody from the outside. And that's when they went and got Bernard Franklin, who was a big failure. And
I ain't even want him to sign my degree.
And then after his 4 years, it was in vogue to get a female. Females were in vogue at that time, and I think they wanted to go out and follow. Because there was only like 1 or 2 colleges in the whole Triangle area that had a male president, and I think that's what we got caught up in there, because the 3 finalists were all females, and I applied for the presidency each of the 2 times and never even got an interview.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, are you concerned at all that if you did try to, if let's say you did get the position of president at the school, are you concerned at all that they might try to Obama you? And by that I mean like bring you in while everything messed up so they can have a scapegoat to blame all the problems on? You know what I mean? Is that even a concern of yours?
No, that's not a concern of mine, because everybody's aware of the problems over there, and I think that these problems are fixable. And I think that with the help of guys like you and the rest of the alumni and the community, in which I'm very well respected, I think we can turn it around. I'm not afraid of being Obama. I'm retired right now. I can just go back to being retired if they can.
I hear that.
Oh man.
Does anyone else have any questions for Dr. Godfrey?
Yeah, I do. Doc, you said that you won Teacher of the Year 24 over 25 years there. Who beat you out that one time?
25 out of 25. Well, nobody beat me.
Exactly.
I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
Man, I
about.
love this guy. If y'all read any of my posts, I get that mentality from this gentleman right here. Oh man. My next question is, I noticed that with St. Aug, it seems like instead of fixing it up, they're just throwing band-aids on it. Like they're not healing the wound. They're putting up new dorms and a new stadium instead of fixing things like Gould Hall or St. Agnes. Is that something that you would recommend if you were in charge of all that stuff? If you were the president?
What do you mean?
You think new dorms would actually help us?
I don't think we need any new dorms right now. We got enough dorms on campus, and
We can't even fill those.
Yeah.
There's some questions about those dormitories that were built, and I won't get into that right now. The ones that were built on the backside of the campus.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of questions about what really went on with that, but I don't want to get into that right now because
Okay.
all of the details. But it's more to that than meets the eye. And I thought we had enough facilities. We only use Atkinson Hall. We got enough dormitories on campus right now to meet our students. And I think that we should stay small, and we need to. We don't need to have 35 majors, but we can have 20 majors that we do well. We can't be everything for everybody.
Yeah.
And we also need to start collaborating with Shaw University. And Shaw might offer a program that's a little better than us, and we should support them. And we should, we might offer a program that's better than them. And we can have our students, going back and forth across these campuses, getting a full education. Shaw has never been the enemy to me.
Right.
Yeah. It's since we're in such a financial dire, how are we about to try to buy St. Paul's College when they were going down?
I think that was just some fluff. Like sometimes when America's in trouble, we start a war somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Doc, I remember back in the days when I was coming to St. Aug, I was accepted to a couple different colleges that I was thinking about going to, but what made me come to St. Aug was the family-type atmosphere you receive once you walked on campus. I came down with Vanguard numerous years through high school, and all the times we came on a trip, St. Aug had the most homely, family-type feel to it, and it was small enough to where you didn't get sidetracked by the large school, getting lost, teachers not knowing you, this, that, and the third.
Right.
I don't know if it's just me, but when I go over there now, I don't even see that no more. Like, I don't see the even amongst the students, not even the interaction with the faculty. It used to be faculty and students all combined together like one family. Now I don't see that over there anymore. Is that just me, or is that really the case over there?
Oh, that's the case over there. I retired in 2008, and I've been on that campus 4 times, and twice was to funerals.
Wow.
And let me ask you something, Lanique. When was the last time Vanguard brought a group of students down here? I think probably the year after you got here.
Right, about a year or two after that, college tour started decline. I mean, they stopped coming down here too, and it was because the students wasn't wanting to come to these schools anymore. Like,
they got rid of Mr. Hendricks. That ended all of that.
Yep, absolutely.
Let me.
Yeah, what'd you say?
I was going to say, the past 2 administrations, in my opinion, they have had a renter's attitude. You know what I mean? You treat a house different. You treat a house different when you own it. You know, when you rent a place, you don't tend to give it the kind of care and love that you would if you owned it. And I think a lot of the stuff you see over now is exhibits that kind of attitude. Because in my opinion now, in order to run one of these schools effectively, you got to have a passion for it.
Absolutely.
Like when I didn't get the presidency of St. Aug for the last 20 years, people say, well, why don't you go apply somewhere else? I just don't feel that I could have the passion to be the president at another school. I wouldn't have the love that I have for St. Augustine's. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up, and we'll give Dr. Godfrey the last word. Gary, last thoughts.
This has been a very informative meeting. I'm glad that the doc could come here and provide his insight on what's going on. And hopefully all our efforts are not in vain, and we can get that man into Augustine University. Maybe he can change it back to college for us.
Exactly.
Now, the first thing I'm going to do is bring back that Rio Falcon.
Right.
That look like an eagle now or something. I don't know what that is.
looks like a seagull to me.
The seagull. Oh, man. All right, Mr. Coffee. Mr. Coffee, any last thoughts you'd like to share?
This is my man's. I support him for president. Word up.
All right, moving on down the line. Lanique, last words.
I just want to say that I'm behind you 100%, Doc, on getting in that presidential chair, man, and anything I can do or anything I can bring to the table to help you, it's already there. You ain't even got to worry about that on my end. Anything I can do, it's done. I want to see you there, man. I want to see you there for 20 years now because I feel you deserve it, and I feel you one of the most respected teachers, alumni, look to on campus. People enjoy seeing you at homecoming when they see you out there. I don't even recall seeing Suba at any of the homecoming activities except maybe coronation or something. Like, she's just not the person for our school. Like, I knew that when she got the Episcopal Church mad the first year she was there for moving their chair out the chapel. You know what I mean? Like, you taking the Episcopal money from the school too, and that's what our school was founded on, Episcopal. But that's a whole nother topic later on. But like I said, I'm behind you 100%, Doc. I appreciate you coming to share with us, man. And you got a lot of students that's in your corner also.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, Chris, one quick side note. Freshman year, this man told me the best way to learn is to sit in the front row. Ever since then, I've been in the front row of every meeting, every class, every job. So I definitely appreciate that from you, Doc.
Okay, Gary.
Absolutely.
All right, my last thoughts is this. You know, as a young African-American male, so-called African-American male, because I have no idea who my people are, what lineage or tribe I come from, so I say so-called African-American male. The American dream means something different to us. There is no promise of opportunity. There's no reparations. There is no 40 acres and a mule. And I think if there's anything that we're willing to go to hell and back for, it's to make sure that the guy standing next to me on the left or on the right, or family members, we carry them forward. And I think this is a great opportunity for us to show our capacity as mentors to students that are in St. Aug as well as in other HBCUs across the nation that may need leadership from a male perspective. Those are my last thoughts. Dr. Godfrey, I'll give you the last word.
I just want to thank you, brothers, for inviting me to this forum. And, you know, I just want to make the statement now. I came here because of my concern for the well-being of the college. I didn't come here campaigning to be the president of the college. I mean, if that happens, I'll happily serve, but I'm not here campaigning. I'm here out of my love for the school and because I love and respect the brothers who asked me to come here tonight.
Well, thank you for your time, sir. We enjoy having you.
Thank you.
This is Chris Coffey, and you've been watching The Urban Male. See you next time.
It's the Urban Male Show.
Yeah.
Where else would you go?
Where would you go?
Rain, sleet, hell, or snow.
Yeah.
It's the Urban Male Show.